Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, I'm Shyama Sakhi Devidasi and you're watching Hare Krishna Culture. So what do we have lined up for you for today? Well, as you know, Radha and Krishna perform many pastimes together in Vrindavan and all are glorious. These pastimes give great pleasure to their devotees as well as to themselves. One of those pastimes happens to be their pastime on the Yamuna River when they go boating. Later on in this program, we'll be showing you how Radha Shyam Sundar are taken from the Krishna Baran temple in Vrindavan to the Yamuna to enjoy this beautiful festival. But as always, we start our clips of Srila Prabhupada from Hyderabad from November 1972, and we hear of how one devotee wanted to go to Rishikesh to practice being a brahmachari. But Srila Prabhupada didn't want him to waste his time. He instructed this devotee that he should tell anybody he meets about Krishna.
Palika and Jamuna and Malati in the kitchen, they were preparing prasadam for Srila Prabhupada, and I was in the front room, and then Srila Prabhupada was in another interior room on the ground floor behind his desk, and his servant brought in a sadhu from South India, and he sat down in Srila Prabhupada's room, but I didn't hear any conversation going on between them. It was like, why aren't they speaking to each other? And then all of a sudden I heard a huge verbal argument, and they were screaming at each other at the top of their lungs in Hindi. And all of a sudden, I was really concerned, well, what's going on? And then all of a sudden this guy storms out of the house. And for the next 2 weeks, Srila Prabhupada was so grave. And the lectures, if you listen to those lectures, he's talking about Chatur Varnam Mayasristam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Krishna has established a natural system of Varna and Ashram, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. It is something that happens within society naturally, and people are judged to be in one of these categories, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, by their qualities and by the work that they do. Never in this verse does Krishna mention anything about birth. So we found out later on that what this argument was about was this guy was coming in and saying, you can't do this. You can't take Malechas and Yavanas from the West, meat eaters, and convert them into Brahmins, give them the sacred thread, give them the sannyas tridandi. And of course, this argument had been presented in different ways to his acharya, his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So this was a fight that was going on for a long time, and Srila Prabhupada in the next 2 weeks quoted all the different verses from all the different shastras explaining that Krishna consciousness is a universal movement. It is not just for India. It includes the entire world.
They wanted devotees to come down from Calcutta and Mayapur for a pandal, because they had no devotees there. So I took Radha Madhava from here, and that other Lord Chaitanya, Tarankanti Ghosh, had made for us. And we went down and set up the pandal there. Prabhupada was looking at the deities, and he turned to me and he said, is that Radha Madhava? I said, oh yes, Prabhupada, we brought them from Mayapur. Anyway, he said, you should not take from Mayapur. He said, but what's done is done. When you take them back, they're to stay there forever.
Srila Prabhupada's vision was so perfect. He would not discriminate on the bodily platform. He could see the bigger picture and also the activities of the individuals. That is what makes a Brahman, not his birth. Srila Prabhupada had complete faith in the words of the Bhagavad Gita, that one is not a Brahman because of his birth, but because of his activities. Now for our next item, I'm going to hand you over to a very special guest, Dinabandhu Prabhu. Dinabandhu Prabhu resides in Vrindavan and is an expert narrator of the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So as we will be showing you the boat festival of the Yamuna later, he will be explaining something about this wonderful pastime.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-shalakaya Chaksurun militandena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya-manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svaparandigam Adadanastranadanandairidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janmadanmani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to Sri Vrindavan Dham, which is Srila Prabhupada's home. Srila Prabhupada used to say that Bombay is my office, Mayapur is my place of bhajan, and Vrindavan is my home. So we're sitting here with Srila Prabhupada in his house in Vrindavan. Originally, I can't remember, it was either 85 or 86. Damodar Pandit was the temple president. He got this idea that we should fill the courtyard of the temple room and take the deities on a boat all around the temple room. So somehow we got a little boat together and we had this wonderful festival with Radhashyam Sundar going around the temple room filled with water. And it was a grand festival. Those were some of the best ones because we would have these sparklers hanging on the back of the courtyard, and they would just be showering sparks down to just a whole sheet of sparks. And from the tree there was big sparklers hanging down, and the deities would go around. And there was hardly anybody there. In fact, the kirtan party used to go all around follow the boat all around the temple room. And gradually it became a standard of our Mayapur Vrindavan festival that we would have the boat festival in the courtyard. And then someone else got the idea that we should make a little island in the middle of the courtyard. So during the afternoon, from the 4:30 Artik onwards, we would have the deities in a small temple in the middle of the courtyard. And we had a little walkway for devotees to come and make their offerings, offer garlands and offer sweets, and take their Mahaprasad and return. And we'd have all afternoon up till the 7 o'clock Artik. Then after Artik, we would take the deities again in a boat all around the temple room. And it finally became so popular that it was practically impossible to move. We couldn't do the sparklers anymore because then we put wooden platforms all around the edge, right where the sparks used to fall. So we had to cut off that one. And we had all the senior devotees sitting around there. It became too successful. So for a few years we suggested that why not do it in the Jamuna? That's the original place where Krishna had his boating pastimes. So anyway, last year we decided, all right, if we can't convince them, let's just do it ourselves. So we made this wonderful program at Keshi Ghat. We got a huge boat and decorated. We made one of the big objections was nobody would see the small deities. And so we made some big deities from mud, like Mayapur style, Radhashyam Sundar, about 4 feet tall. And we decorated the Keshi Ghat and we put nice sitting places so everybody could sit peacefully even though without any trouble. And it was all like stadium sitting, all sitting on the steps down to the water. And then we had this gorgeously decorated boat, and we took the deities all around. So everyone was very, very happy that it was such a wonderful festival. So this year we decided let's do it on a grand scale, because just a few weeks before in Kumbh Mela we had, for the first time in history, we had a huge procession with Prabhupada riding on an elephant for our entrance into the Kumbh Mela festival. Because ordinarily we take part, now that Lokanath Swami is our Mahant, we take part in the bathing procession, but this was just our own procession for Prabhupada to enter into the Kumbh Mela. And at least 21 of the embroidered flags of the different akharas came, and we had this huge elephant, and we put Prabhupada there, and devotees, I don't know where devotees came from, just so many devotees there. We just had an ecstatic, it was a wonderful sound system. The sound would echo all the way through the streets, and everybody was chanting and dancing wildly and whirling and twirling. And we went all the way across Vrindavan through all the main bazaars to the Kumbh Mela. And so then we decided this year, somehow Keshi Ghat is a little bit disturbed and the water's not flowing there. So we thought already the Kumbh Mela is all set up. Now the Kumbh Mela is over, but all the facilities there, even lights are there, everything is there. So let's do it at the Kumbh Mela. They made a nice little ghat going down into the Jamuna. And backside is Devraha Baba's ashram with beautiful flowering trees. So it was quite a beautiful setting. And there the water is a little bit cleaner and clearer. So then we decided, all right, let's have a procession. Because how to get everybody to the complete opposite side of Vrindavan. So then we said, let's just have another procession. We'll put Radha Shamsundar on top of a big elephant. And we'll have a big Sankirtan procession to the other side of Vrindavan, to the Kumbh Mela ground. So we had this glorious procession through the bazaar. People were throwing flowers on top of the devotees, and they were serving out water to the devotees here and there. And so beautiful procession through the whole of Vrindavan, all the way out to the Kumbh Mela site. Then there we had a nice tented off area on the bank of the Jamuna, a beautifully, gorgeously decorated boat. And we put the little deities and the big deities on the boat, and we went around, and we had whole day, we had fireworks going on, because they brought some very special type of fireworks that even sparkle in the, he called them electric fireworks. They would even sparkle in the afternoon light. And then gradually, as it got darker and darker, then they started the real wonderful fireworks, and lordships were going around. They made a Chappan Bhog offering. And Indra we had a big stage set up with Indra and his kirtan. The devotees were dancing wildly. And it was just such a beautiful setting, and sun was setting, and day was overcast, so there wasn't at all a botheration to go through the streets of Vrindavan. And it was so beautiful setting, and everybody was just dancing their hearts out. Indra was having wonderful kirtan. And in this way we finally ended up with a big artik, and even after dark, devotees were singing and dancing and singing and dancing, and I don't know how late they stayed there dancing. We came back because this Jamuna is so much connected with Krishna's pastimes. Because we know that Ganga, one time, Lord touched Ganga with his toe. We know in his incarnation as Vamandev. He poked a hole in the universe and the Ganga flowed through over his toe. So one time. But here in the Jamuna, every day Krishna was splashing and playing and swimming with his friends, sometimes having boating pastimes with the gopis. Sometimes they would come with all their pots, and they were unable to get across the Jamuna. They were looking for boatmen. So finally they found one old boatman who had his chadar over his head, was sound asleep. And Lalita came and said, boatman, please take us to the other side. Huh? He said, look, my boat is very old, you girls are too many, and anyway, I'm sound asleep. And not only that, you have all these pots of butter and yogurt, it's too much, you find someone else. But boatman, there's no one else, you please come. Oh, all right. So he got in his boat, he got all the gopis in the boat with all their pots of butter and yogurt and milk. He started rowing, and then suddenly wind started coming and waves started coming, and the boat was rocking, and our boatman, he was also rowing in a funny way. So this boat was rocking, and he pulled out a little cork in the bottom of his boat, and water was coming, and Radharani sent Lalita Sakhi, please go tell the boatman to save us. Boatman, please save us. He said, what can I do? I told you before, you girls are too many. Your cargo is very heavy. My boat is very old and leaky. If you don't throw all of your water pots, all your yogurt pots and butter pots overboard, we're all going to drown. So they threw all their pots, but still boat was rocking and water was coming and wind was blowing, waves were coming. Again, Radharani sent Lalita. Lalita again tapped him on the shoulder. He said, Boatman, if you please save us. He said, but I told you before, you girls are too many. And you're wearing such heavy jewelry. If you don't throw all of this jewelry overboard, we're all going to drown. So they threw all their jewelry, but still boat was rocking and waves were coming, water is coming. So then, again, Radharani sent Lalita, said, look, we're going to drown. Do something. He said, but I told you before. And besides, you girls have such heavy saris. If you don't throw these saris overboard, we're all going to drown. Lalita Sakhi said, we got a better idea. We're going to throw you overboard. So then Radharani herself came and she threw herself around Krishna's, you must have guessed who our boatman is, Krishna's neck. She said, please save us. Don't make us do this. So now he's got his desire fulfilled. He put the cork back in, the wind stopped, the waves stopped, and he rode very sweetly to the other side of the Jamuna. Jamuna Maharani ki jai. So like this, millions and millions of boat pastimes are taking place on this Jamuna. So in this way, Jamuna is very deeply connected with Radha and Krishna's pastimes. Actually, this Jamuna comes straight from the spiritual world, because Krishna, he sends his Vrindavan here, he sends Giriraj here, and he sends Jamuna here. And Jamuna's appearance is a very interesting pastime, because there was one fellow named Bisvakarma. He's the engineer of the demigods. And Bisvakarma, just like me, he has a very, 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 very beautiful daughter. And her name was Sangya. Sangya, just like you heard the word Gyan, means awareness. And he himself was a great devotee of the sun god, and he thought, what better wife for the sun than awareness? Because when it's dark, we can't see anything. As soon as sun rises, then we become aware of everything. So what better wife for the sun than Sangya, awareness? So he, with great pomp and ceremony, he got his daughter wedded with Bibhiswan. So when the sun god approached his wife, the way a husband approached his wife, she shut her eyes. And he became very angry. Are, why did you shut your eyes like that? Therefore I curse you. You will get a son who will make everyone close his eyes and everyone will be afraid of your son. Well, she wasn't a modern Western woman who started a big fight with her husband. She was very, very smart Indian lady. She just began to massage on his legs and said, oh Swami, what can I do? You were so bright, I couldn't help myself. What can I do, you know? So without any harsh word, automatically husband is feeling sad inside his heart. Then he said, oh, I don't know what to do. I can't take back the curse. But I give you blessing. See, she was very clever. She got blessing. He said, I give you blessing that you will get a daughter who will free everyone from the fear of your son. So she gave birth to twins, Yam and Yami. Yam, Yamaraj, who makes everyone shut their eyes, and everyone's very much afraid of Yamaraj. And Yami, Yamuna. By taking our bath in Yamuna, we become free from all our sins. Then we have no more fear of Yamaraj. In fact, Yamaraj and Yamuna, they're brother and sister. If you go to Visramgad and Mathura, you can see Bhai Ben Mandir, brother-sister temple is there. Especially our Gujaratis on the second day after Diwali. Brothers and sisters all go together to Visramgad and take their bath in the Jamuna. Like that. So in this way, she got her name as Bhanu Putri, or Surya Putri, Surya Nandini, Tarani Tanuja, Mitra Nandini. Mitra is another name for sun. And Bhanu Nandini, Bhanu Putri, so many beautiful names. On this particular planet, she first lands on the Kalinda mountain. Therefore she got the name Kalindi, or Kalinda Nandini, or even more sweet, Kalindagiri Nandini, Kalindagiri Nandini. Her waters are always very dark colored, Shambarn. So she's called Krishna. Anybody who's ever been to Prayag, you have seen that Ganga is coming very light color and Jamuna is coming very dark color, and you can see them mixing in the Sangam. So she's Krishna, dark. She's very dear to Krishna. She's Krishna Priya. And our Rupa Goswami, he has given a very special name for her. Sarvadara Binda Bandhu Nandini. Sarva means all, and Aravinda means lotus flower. And Bandhu, just like Deen Bandhu, Bandhu means friend. So who's the friend of all the lotus flowers? I'll give you a hint. When moon will rise, every lotus will close her face. She doesn't want to see the moon. But as soon as sun will rise, then every lotus will open her face with a big smile to see the sun. So the friend of all the lotus flowers is the sun. Sarvadara Binda Bandhu Nandini, the daughter of the friend of all the lotus flowers. And he has kept this name in his very wonderful Jamunastak by Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the close followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So there in that Jamunastaka, there's one line that beautifully describes Jamuna. It's my favorite. Ramyatira rambamana gokaramba bhushita divyaganda bhakadamba pusparaja rushita nandasuno bhakta sangha sangham abhinandani mam punattu sarvadara binda bandhu nandani. So Ramyatira Rambamana Gokadamba Bhushita. That her Ramani, very lovely banks, Ramyatira Rambamana Gokadamba. Kadamba is a Sanskrit word that means group. We know that it's a flower, but that flower is called Kadamba because he's a group of flowers in a ball. But here we're not talking about flowers, Gokadamba. Group of cows. And all those cows are doing Rambamana. Do you know Rambamana? Rambamana means all those cows are going So go Ramyatira Rambamana Gokadamba Bhushita, from the word abhushan, ornament. So the ladies like ornaments, and Jamuna is also a lady, she likes ornaments. But her ornaments are white and black and yellow and red cows wandering along her banks going Divyaganda Bhakadamba Pusparaja Rushita. Now again we have the word Kadamba. We were talking about the tree and the flower. 2 meanings in one line. Divya, almost like English, divine. Ganda means fragrance. Divyaganda Bhakadamba Pusparaja Rushita. One meaning is that the banks of the Jamuna are covered with Kadamba flowers. The other, we can take it that the Kadamba tree is covered with Kadamba flowers. You've ever seen a Kadamba tree in bloom? There's thousands and thousands of flowers. And Divyaganda, the divine fragrance, is flowing in all directions. Nandasuno Bhakta Sangam, Sangam Abhinandani. All the devotees of the son of Nanda Maharaj, Nandasuno. Some came from here, some came from there, some came from that side, some came from this side, some came over here. They've all come in the morning to take their bath. And she's doing their Abhinandan. She's welcoming all of the Sangam Abhinandani. She's welcoming all of them. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Binda Bandhu Nandini. May those beautifully flowing waves of that daughter of the friend of all the lotus flowers always bless and purify your heart. So this is a beautiful, one line from the beautiful Astak of Rupa Goswami. So we invite you all here to come to Vrindavan. Some years see the boat festival. We also still have it in the temple room and on the Jamuna. And you can visit all of the wonderful places of Krishna's pastimes here. Prabhupada personally used to take the devotees all around. We just went today to Barbandaghat, where you've seen that photo of Prabhupada ripping off his sweater and suddenly, Indian style, he's into the water and taking his bath. We went to that very place. So we can take you to all these places. And you can come here to Vrindavan, get your spiritual batteries recharged, just like we charge up our batteries for our cell phones and everything else. So you have to recharge your spiritual batteries, recharge your heart. So we invite you all to come here to Srila Prabhupada's home, Vrindavan Dham. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Natana Pano Premamritam Manidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyau Priyakarau Nirmasaram Pujitau Sri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau.
Before Radha Shyamsundar actually arrive at the Yamuna, they are very graciously taken from the temple onto a beautifully decorated elephant. This elephant is then part of a very colourful procession which takes us through the gullies of Vrindavan to the bank of the Yamuna. There, they are placed on a boat to enjoy and give darshan to the thousands of devotees there. And all the while, we can experience the beautiful chanting of the holy name with Ayendra Prabhu.
Let the flags come through, let the flags come through. Let the flags come through. Haribo. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Krishna. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Krishna. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna.
that just an amazing sight? Where else can you experience these sorts of festivals? Well, only where Radha and Krishna reside, and where they shower their blessings on the devotees to enable them to perform such wonderful activities. Because at the end of the day, Krishna is in charge, and as it is said, not even a blade of grass can move without his sanction. So why should this be any different? We hope you enjoyed today's program, and until next time, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.